From the moment a tiny bobcat kitten blinks against the dim light of its den, a remarkable journey begins. A journey from vulnerability to mastery, from silent watcher to capable predator, from hidden newborn to the secret ruler of its territory. Deep in a rocky hollow or hollowed log, the mother carefully chose this nursery weeks before, lining it with dry grass and leaves to shield her young from cold winds and prowling eyes. For the first few weeks of life, the kitten is blind and completely dependent, nursing often, warmed by its mother's body while she slips out at night to hunt rabbits, mice, or quail. Her return is announced with a gentle purr or a soft chirrup. She cleans her offspring, then stretches beside it so the kitten can feed. As days pass, its eyes open, revealing blue-gray orbs that will turn golden with age. Curiosity quickly follows vision. The little cat swats at dust motes and nibbles on its own tail, learning coordination through clumsy play. At 4 to 5 weeks, the kitten totters toward the cave mouth, sniffing the outside air scented with pine needles, damp soil, and the faint musk of deer. Exploration grows bolder. By 8 weeks, short trips outside become daily events, always under the watchful gaze of the mother, who positions herself where she can intercept threats. She demonstrates climbing by scaling low boulders and slipping between bushes, showing the safest routes back to cover. Play sessions become lessons in stalking as the kitten pounces on leaves or its mother's twitching tail, perfecting the silent steps that will one day secure its meals. Gradually, solid food is introduced. Tiny bites from the rabbits or ground squirrels she brings back, giving the youngster its first taste of prey. By late summer, fur thickens, spots darken, and muscles strengthen. The once helpless ball of fluff is now a sleek adolescent following its mother across ridges and meadows, copying her every crouch and bound, memorizing where quail dust themselves and where rodents burrow. Through autumn, the kitten sharpens reflexes, testing ambush skills on grasshoppers or stray feathers. When winter nears, the mother lengthens hunting trips, teaching endurance in snow and the meaning of patience at a frozen pond. By its first birthday, the young bobcat is nearly full size, alert and muscular, ready to claim a patch of forest or desert as its own. Separation is quiet but decisive. The mother drifts farther away until her offspring, guided by instinct, stops following. Now a solitary hunter, it slips through shadows at dusk, ears swiveling toward every whisper of movement, paws placing soundlessly as it searches for mice, rabbits, or birds. Its life will be one of stealth and adaptability, thriving in marsh or canyon, woodland or prairie, surviving on skill and the lessons learned during its secret apprenticeship. From kitten to hunter, the bobcat's story is a portrait of resilience, curiosity, and the wild inheritance written into every heartbeat of this elusive North American cat. As spring returns and the snow softens on the forest floor, the young bobcat begins to patrol its surroundings with a confidence that only months of shadowing its mother could teach. Every rustle in the grass is an invitation to test reflexes. Each scent on the breeze is a message to decode. The adolescent learns the language of the landscape. How a sudden hush among songbirds might warn of a hawk, how the faint musky trail of a hare can guide stealthy paws, and how to read the wind so its own scent drifts away from quarry. Nights become classrooms, the moon a silver lamp, the stars quiet witnesses to lessons in patience. Sometimes hunger presses hard, and the youngster discovers that missed strikes are part of the bargain of survival. It practices the art of waiting, crouched in stillness until mice forget its presence or a grouse steps within range. Small victories build strength and instinct. A successful pounce fills not only the stomach, but also the growing sense of belonging in this untamed world. As weeks turn into months, the bobcat polishes skills, scaling junipers to escape coyotes, slinking through reeds to ambush unwary ducks, or freezing mid-step when deer lift their heads. Its coat, once fuzzy and pale, now gleams with a rich tawny sheen marked by clear rosettes, blending perfectly with mottled bark and sunlit stones. Gradually, the youngster defines its own territory, leaving faint claw marks on tree trunks and scenting low shrubs, careful to avoid the boundaries of older males. Loneliness sometimes weighs heavily, especially after harsh storms, but instinct pushes forward. A pull as old as the species, urging the bobcat to carve out space where it alone will hunt, rest, and one day raise kittens of its own. Each success reinforces independence. Each narrow escape sharpens awareness. By late summer of its second year, the former kitten has become a master of quiet pursuit, a creature honed by challenge and guided by memory, perfectly balanced between curiosity and caution, carrying within every muscle and whisker the lessons of its secret youth. When the first frosts brush the meadows white, the young bobcat is no longer a student but an emerging sovereign of its range, tracing silent paths between granite ledges and tangled cedar roots with the assurance of one who knows every dip and curve. Autumn scents, ripe berries, drying grasses, the musk of voles, weave through its awareness, sharpening its senses as daylight wanes. The bobcat learns to balance risk and reward, testing frozen ponds for footing, edging along snowy ridges where rabbits hide in shadowed hollows. It hones the winter art of conserving energy, curling in rocky alcoves during heavy storms, venturing out only when the air is clear and prey trails are fresh. Solitary by nature, it sometimes crosses paths with others. A wary male whose deep yowls stake a boundary, or a wandering female whose subtle scent lingers like a puzzle on the wind. These encounters teach diplomacy as much as stealth, when to retreat, when to stand ground, when to court. By its second spring, muscle ripples under a sleek pelt that now mirrors bark, bracken, and stone so completely that even sharp-eyed hawks pass overhead unaware. Its amber eyes, once wide with kittenish wonder, now gleam with calm calculation, scanning ridges for movement, reading the faintest stir in the brush. The bobcat perfects techniques its mother only hinted at, sliding belly low across frosted reeds to take a mallard, or springing from a snow-dusted outcrop onto a squirrel clinging unsuspectingly to bark. Each successful hunt carries an echo of its earliest lessons, yet every failure still keeps humility close, a reminder that even masters of stealth answer to the rhythms of the wild. With maturity comes a quiet gravity, a sense that the wilderness is no longer a classroom but a home it must safeguard, a living map of streams, dens, and game trails etched into memory and muscle. When dusk settles and the forest glows faintly beneath a rising moon, as years pass and the bobcat moves into the height of its strength, it becomes not only a hunter but a steward of its domain, a living thread that stitches together every shadow and clearing in its range. It learns to read the forest as if it were an open book. The scurry of a mouse across a frosted log, the faint shimmer of a pheasant's feathers hidden among reeds, the shape of a hare frozen against moonlit snow. Seasons teach the cat to adapt endlessly. Spring rains bring lush growth and an explosion of prey. Summer heat slows movement to dawn and dusk. Autumn demands tireless foraging to build strength for winter, and snowbound months challenge every instinct with cold, scarcity, and stealth. The bobcat's senses, sharpened since kittenhood, now work in concert like a symphony of precision. Eyes that see in twilight as clearly as others see at noon, ears that can pick up the faintest scratch beneath leaves, whiskers that register tremors in the air, paws that cushion every step, allowing it to approach its quarry like a phantom of fur and muscle. Over time, scars map its pelt, small notches that mark lessons learned, close calls with coyotes, territorial scuffles with rivals, brushes with talons or fangs. These scars do not dim its vitality. They enrich its tale, a record of resilience inscribed on its body. In quieter moments, the bobcat will sometimes rest high in the limbs of a sturdy tree or on a warm slab of sunlit granite, surveying the scene below. It understands now, in a way that transcends instinct, that the land is not a possession but a partnership. The streams, thickets, and rocky ledges grant food, shelter, and protection. In return, the bobcat keeps balance, preventing prey populations from overrunning the fragile understory. Each night it slips into the hush of darkness, guided by stars and the silver wash of the moon, a silent custodian of the forest's heartbeat. As maturity settles fully, the once young bobcat begins to teach its own offspring, passing along not just the mechanics of hunting, but an unspoken code. Patience, respect for the hunt, the discipline to wait for the right moment rather than squander energy in reckless pursuit. Watching its kits stalk crickets in play or pounce clumsily at wind-blown leaves, the adult senses its own childhood mirrored, a continuum unbroken since wild cats first crept across untamed continents. Toward its later years, muscles lean but seasoned, the bobcat slows only slightly, choosing efficiency over speed, wisdom over raw daring. It favors well-known paths, trusted perches, and quiet pools where fish glide just beneath the surface. Its coat may fade to softer hues, yet the eyes retain their intense gleam, twin lamps of amber that have seen storms, droughts, and countless dawns. When finally winter again wraps the land in ice, the bobcat moves carefully through its realm, a dignified elder aware of every scent on the wind. Somewhere, another kitten will soon be born into a hidden den, eyes sealed to the world, heartbeat quick and fragile. That tiny creature will begin a journey almost identical, guided by the same currents of instinct, shadow, and moonlight. And thus, the secret life continues. An endless story of wildness, carved in the silence between trees, carried forward by each generation that learns to hunt, survive, and rule the quiet places of the earth.